Okay. Oh, God. Hey, guys. Hey. Sorry about that. My doorbell rang. Cash. Doorbell rang the moment I got on live here. Of course, doing it from here. Cash. Hey. Come on. All right. Hey, guys. So, I'm here live from home. As usual, timing is not the best. Cash. Chill out. All right. So here, okay, we're doing live coverage here. Sorry about that. The dog's in the room with me, and the doorbell rang, and he's gonna go crazy. But Derek is on his way to the office. We'll switch to green screen coverage. We're gonna jump right into it here. We're talking about a storm, as we are talking about the storm moving towards Boulder, Colorado right now. Cash, quiet. And fortunately, from being at home, gotta have him going on. So, okay, all right. Girlfriend took care of that. So anyway, we're gonna talk about this right here. We have a storm moving into Boulder at the moment. We have so we had it go severe warned a few minutes ago. It's coming off the mountains right now, and you can see here with CCs are getting lower. Probably dropping $quarter-half size hail right now. It's warned for quarters. Looks pretty good. Looks like a classic looking supercell here. You can see all the pink. You can see the little eagle, we like to call it, coming out here. And this next frame storm, looks like we have another storm trying to go up down here by Broomfield and El Dorado Springs. Again, these storms looks like we're going to have storms trying to form and just kind of go up in different areas here. So it'll be hard to really kind of pinpoint exactly what's going on. So looks like we're going to have big storms trying to move in towards Boulder right now. Again, Derek will be in just a moment. He'll be doing live coverage from the office, doing it on the green screen. Looks like we have, again, $quarter-half size hail heading towards Boulder right now. The most recent frame update, a little less pink. We'll see if this storm continues to strengthen or if me going live decide to kill the storm. That is going to be up for debate. We have other storms trying to form now. Over here, if I zoom out, show you just here's Denver heading back towards Golden. We have a shower trying to pop up back towards here, and we'll see where other storms are going. I think we mapped a little bit of quarter-size hail or by Lyons, Colorado a little earlier. See here, see the lower CCs, see the lower reflectivity. Storm went up, and then that kind of petered out as another storm formed to the south of it. We'll see what happens again with the storm as it's heading towards Boulder right now. Going to zoom out a little bit more, show you everything else going on elsewhere. Somebody asked about Rockford. The storm by Rockford, no hail in this at all. This is all going to be just rain and wind. And that is going to not drop much in the way of any hail at all. And if it does, it's going to be under half-inch size. So P to half-inch size hail at the very best. With that, we also have this storm, this tornado warned storm up here. Looks like one heck of a wind producer. I had quite a few wind reports. Over 70-mile-per-hour winds. This is well north of Blair, Nebraska. And hopefully hopefully the hailstorm can go smug in Boulder. That's funny. Well, good one, Brian. So yeah, we'll see if this storm can get its act together. And it seems like just the year 2018, we managed to somehow constantly get a storm that wants to go. It peers out, and then about 2-3 in the morning is when we get a big storm that happens. So we'll just kind of have to wait and see how this progresses. We wanted to just pop on here I wanted to get on right when the storm decided to go severe, and of course that exact moment is when my dog, who's in my office with me, decided to go crazy because the doorbell rang. So live streaming, just like live television, crazy stuff happens. Okay, somebody asking what's up for the next couple days in Dallas. It's gonna be hot, and yeah, about that. Not hot, might get some rain. There's big hail, probably not a good chance. You guys got your big storm, and that in itself was kind of like a little accident storm. looking now, looks like we have another storm over here back by Empire. Looks like this is trying to go up just now. So it looks like there's a boundary. Okay, all right. Anyway, boundary seems to be in place right where my cursor is at. That's where storms are firing off. Looks like the marker has gone back up for this storm by Boulder. Moving into Boulder now. Not expecting anything over quarter, $half size at the moment. Storm looks like it's trying to strengthen a little bit. So we will see how this progresses. It sounds like there's some chaos going on outdoors. Every dog in the neighborhood wants to bark right now. So, all right, with that we got. Okay. Anyway, so it looks like storm, again, moving towards Boulder right now. You can see the CCs, right here, the correlation coefficient, where it's a little bit lower. That is where the hail is falling. So pretty much right where the pink is at, just to the immediate west of Boulder and into Boulder here. Looks like if we zoom in a little bit more, pretty much right along the western sides of Route 7, down by Arapahoe Avenue and 5th Street. Like, again, very western sides of Boulder. Probably going to be seeing that's where the closest to quarter size hail is, other than once we get out into the mountains a little bit. So let's see, get the CDR. As usual, quite a bit of hail falling with this storm, as most Denver storms are. And everywhere else, further to the north, over by Fort Collins, looks like we're getting some hail now starting to fall. Just to the, ooh, we got hail spike on this too. All right. Okay, this is by Fort Collins. I've moved a little bit here into the Fort Collins area. Let me hop on to a couple other parameters here. Yeah, looks like we'll probably see some quarter size hail spike. We got a hail spike right here by Fort Collins. A little further away from the radar, a little further to north. This is the southwestern sides of Fort Collins. Storm moving into there. So this is like right along County Road 19, County Road 34, up by what's this here? West County Road 38. That is right up again. Fort Collins southwestern sides of Fort Collins. This storm has a hail spike on it now, so that really takes some attention. There's some very high volume hail, ranging from P to $half size. The Denver area tends to have this happen a lot. You got a storm that just dumps hail. It's not even raining; it's just hail. Happened the Colorado Springs storm. That happened to be a case like that where it was just hail. It was just gigantic hail. However, none of that right now, anyway. But this storm by Fort Collins, not even severe warned yet. But again, we have a hail spike on here, and that really leads me to divert my attention to that, just to see the fact that that might be very high volumes of hail ranging up to $half size, or possibly even some big hail. Right now, God, I don't know. It looks like probably leaning more towards the lots of hail, probably ranging on a quarter $half size. Back down here towards Boulder, looks like the quarter $half size hail has now entered the city, down towards the downtown area. I don't know, where's the college at? It's just right. Oh, it's right here. So it's probably hailing at the college right now, Colorado, University of Colorado. Hang on, Derek just texted me. And all right, well, Derek doesn't remember how to do the live coverage, of course. So it'll be fun trying to figure that one out. So, okay, storm's moving into Boulder now. Does not look like it's a crazy storm. Got any reports coming in yet? Nope. I got a new warning now for the storm for Fort Collins. Warned for quarters. Definitely quarter $half size hail is falling in that one. So we have two storms. We're joining in right now that in the Denver area, the general Front Range area, have storms happening. Denver itself, no. It looks like you probably see the clouds off to your west and off to your north. But if we get towards Boulder, it's got some hail happening in here. Quarter $half size hail. And I think, all right, hang on one second. Okay. All right. Whoa, marker just jumped up a bunch. As I'm trying to text Derek, because he doesn't remember how to set up doing the live, we have marker jumped up quite a bit now. 2-inch hail marker for the Boulder area. The storm strengthening as we're moving in here. And of course, I have my Facebook. Here we go. And so, share this video, give it some likes, do those hail dances, get those hail dances a little stronger so we get the storm getting a little bigger here in the Boulder area. Derek is trying to get the video set up and ready to go. Hopefully somebody can help him out with that. I want to minimize the break time between me not being on the video, me being on the video to when Derek goes on the video. So just kind of bear with us for a second here as this gets going. Storm right now. So where the hail is probably falling at in terms of Boulder, if you guys know where the University of Colorado is, it's pretty much right there and with the downtown area. So here is like downtown Boulder right in here. University of Colorado is in this basic area, I want to say. Hang on, let me kill the radar real quick. Yeah. University of Colorado is going to be right where I make this little red dot. That's where University of Colorado's at. Big hill falling right there. It's very possible this hail size is going up quite a bit now. Probably upwards ping pong ball, golf ball size hail possible now. I don't want to, it probably not this exact minute, but soon. Golf ball size hail probably very soon here in Boulder. The storm's strengthening quite a bit. It's still only 1/4. And dancing in Park City, Utah, heading back to Boulder. So while that is going on, I'm going to shift gears just for a moment because there is that other storm by Fort Collins. This one has still has a spike on it. It's now on the south sides of Fort Collins. We'll see how big that can get. I'm gonna keep the video on here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk through how for Derek to get this going, but I'm gonna do the coverage at the same time, and I will kill the stream the moment he's able to get back on. So, okay, we're gonna do this together here. So, FaceTime audio, I didn't want that. I didn't mean to do FaceTime audio, but I'm still live, by the way, so, because the storm's on Boulder, so.
Yeah, I don't think I can go live until you get off.
Okay, are you pretty much ready?
I think so.
All right, what do you all have?
I just have to hit start streaming and then do the YouTube and our website. And
okay, it should. You won't have to do it to our website because I'm live right now. I'll just kill the stream, and then once I kill the stream, you just immediately go, and it'll be fine. What are you able to get a live video going on Facebook?
I mean, it won't let me do it, until I hit start streaming. It says my stream key doesn't work right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. In that case. All right, guys. So Derek's pretty much ready to go. So what I'm going to do here, all right, we're talking in Boulder, storm. This is what it looks like right now. So we have probably ping pong ball size hail, soon to be golf ball size hail in the Boulder area, probably falling on University of Colorado to give you guys a point of reference. And Derek will be live in just a second. Oh, yeah. Okay, golf ball size hail is falling now in downtown Boulder. I'm going to stop for just a second. We'll have a push notification out there. So, again, about 30 seconds before Derek's live. We'll be right back.
Say special thanks out to the C3 group for paying for today's overtime coverage. We've got the sound on now. Had my mic off there while we were trying to get everything set up. So we should be good to go now. Now watching, again, this storm moving through Boulder. So we're going to go screen by screen as this storm actually moves through the city. We're going to watch a couple other storms as well as everything goes through. So some exciting stuff here. And again, special shout out to the C3 group for sponsoring our video today. We'll give them a couple of shout outs. Make sure to go give them a like on their Facebook page as we track this through here. So we're going to actually switch this to single panel mode just so we can get a little bigger view here. We did get our first report here of quarter-size hail. Looks like this report was done by an emergency manager 2 miles south-southwest of Boulder. So again, not an exact location with this report. The storm actually not looking quite as impressive as it did just a few minutes ago. So let's go ahead and back it up here and show you what we're talking about, show you where it went. So you can see we've got a really, really nice setup here with the storm. It's kind of got this, if we actually zoom out a notch here, zoom out here and kind of move up. So you can kind of see this is really what we would call in meteorology world a classic supercell. So we've got basically the eagle look, right? You can see it kind of span down. It looks like a wing right here, 2 wings with the eagle coming down. Then we've got the hook echo coming right around on the back side here. And very lovely right here, we've got inflow sucking into this storm. So as this happened, it caused the storm to really intensify. So the tops of the storm here, and actually if we take a look, let's see how tall we've got here. So the tops of the storm when this happened, shooting well up over 40,000, almost 50,000 feet whenever this basically went up. As it did so, it shot the rain and the ice a lot higher into the atmosphere, and it started to produce hail. So we're going to switch back to our reflectivity so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. And this is where the hail actually began to fall out. So we started watching all of this begin to fall down to the ground as that lift encouraged there. So we're going to see it as it continues to move through the city here. And you can see now as we go to live radar, look how much the markers actually come down. We're going to take a look at these echo tops, but it looks like, to me, maybe we have the storm trying to reform over here off to the east of Boulder now. So near, let's see here, Valmont, looks like maybe right in that area. So we have the thunderstorm developing, and just to the north here of Louisville and Lafayette, Colorado. So we're going to watch this kind of try to develop and move towards, it looks like this is Erie, Colorado. So it's going to move generally off to the east and possibly even do a little split here. So we may watch this piece right back here, try to lift off to the north. We'll see what it does. But really definitely trying to redevelop. You can see the inflow notch coming right in here. We've got the little V right here. And so we're watching the inflow notch as this moves through. So again, the storm just moved through Boulder. Definitely was intense as it did so. Dropped some golf ball size hail. Let's go back and take a look at where that actually occurred at in Boulder. So this is probably the best looking frame that we had. And let's take a look here. Let's put it on 2 panels. And you can see right here. So we overlay the 2 different panels. Okay, so we've got right here behind me, if you notice right back here behind me, we see where all the dark purples are. And then right here in front of me, we've got all of this blue and green right in here. And this is where the large hail actually occurred at in this particular thunderstorm. Okay, so again, probably up to around the size of golf ball size hail. This is a high volume hailer. We can actually take a look at that if we switch this over here. We're going to switch here to ZDR, and you can see right here, see all the grays right back here in the southwest side of the storm here? Lots of hail falling. Probably get the snow plows out in Boulder. I think we probably got about 6 to 12 inches of hail. Not really, but we had a lot of hail fall in Boulder as this storm moved through, with the largest of the hail being golf ball size. Now, there's going to be smaller hail. There's going to be quarter size hail. There's going to be $half size hail. There's going to be pea size hail in this storm. Going to be a lot of different sizes. It doesn't all fall at the same size. So we're going to have a lot of different size hail. But basically, right here, the southwest side of Boulder looks like it probably took on the biggest hail from this particular storm. Let me show you just a little bit about what we have to deal with, though, on a daily basis, because this is not the only place that it might have hailed. So taking a look at the radar right here. So we had, if we look at the radar here, this frame was taken at 7:01 p.m. Okay, now let's bump this thing forward here, and notice how far the storm moved. Okay, so it was right here at 7:01, and it's all the way over here. This was our next frame that we had to deal with, and this was at 7:03. So in 2 minutes, that storm moved from right over here, southwest side of Boulder, moved all the way over past, almost past downtown Boulder, and was actually on the east side of Boulder at that point. So the storm's a pretty quick mover. The hail's going to last between 2, 3, and maybe up to 5 and 6 minutes, depending on the exact location that you actually get hit with by this particular storm here. So let's go to our latest update here. Storm really continuing to weaken here, so as it kind of goes through that cycle. So we're going to have to see exactly how this thing all posts around. But basically here we've got a much weaker thunderstorm here, probably not even severe now, okay? So we're talking probably some penny-sized hail now falling. So near Vermont, right here, just to the south of Gun Barrel, Colorado. Looks like some pretty nice communities up there, but it definitely is to the south of there. We're talking pea-sized hail. So let's take a look and see exactly what we've got going on across the rest of Colorado, because that's not the only storm that we have. We actually have 2 other storms that we're tracking here. We're going to take a look at those. And again, these could all definitely cycle up again as we go through the afternoon hours. So we still have a lot of instability in place. We have a strong disturbance that's moving out. It's actually what's responsible for the thunderstorms that happened and produced hail in Salt Lake City, Utah earlier today. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this storm here. And this is near Meade, Colorado. So if you're familiar with that area, this is Meade, Colorado. We're going to take a look to see how big the objects are in this guy right here. So right now, this is probably the strongest storm near Meade. And so we're going to watch this one to see how it develops and what actually occurs with this storm. But as it stands right now, a lot of hail is falling in this area. But notice kind of where the greens are back here behind me here. So the greens, we do have some hail falling that's maybe making a run at quarter-size hail right here in Meade at this exact moment. Now, we're going to have to watch and see what this storm does. So these storms have had a potential or a history of really intensifying really fast and really going kind of crazy when they do so. It looks like we just got a new warning issued here. And it looks like they're going to issue this warning for both of these storms, okay? So they're going to issue the warning. There we got a ping pong ball report now in Boulder. So that's 1.5 inches in diameter. So we've got a new warning issued for the storm in Boulder and also for this storm up here in Meade. So they kind of encompassed them both in the warning here. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what they're talking about here. So again, the warning is for $0.5 size hail for both of these storms moving to the northwest at 30 miles per hour. Another severe thunderstorm located near Meade, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour as well. Again, reports of $0.5 size hail and even a ping pong ball report now in Boulder. And again, these storms are going to be high volume, so these are going to produce a lot of hail as they kind of move through the area. And so we're going to see lots of hail, and we're just going to have to see how big this hail is going to get. Let's jump up here to Fort Collins, because we have this storm that's moving. It's actually moved through Fort Collins already. This also has a severe thunderstorm warning with it. The severe thunderstorm warning was for quarter-size hail on this particular storm. Let's back it up and kind of see what it did here. So as it moved towards Fort Collins, kind of peaked up here, and but notice our CCs back over here, all red right in here. Okay, so not a lot of large objects being picked up by the radar in this particular thunderstorm, but we are seeing some really high reflectivity. And if we kind of bounce this over here to our ZDR application, we can see here that we have a lot of grays back in here where the hail is actually falling. So we are seeing a lot of hail that's falling with this storm, but it's smaller. It's on the smaller side as it moved through the south side of Fort Collins. And we'll bump this forward here. And you can kind of see that trend basically continues as it moves through Fort Collins. Radar not picking up real big hail with this particular thunderstorm. Let's take a look at it and see if anything big actually did decide to show up. And no, I don't see anything crazy with this storm. So let's switch everything back up here. And just see exactly what we got going on here. We got a hail report there with nothing with it. So again, so it looks like right now our two main severe thunderstorms that we're going to deal with here, at least for the next few minutes, are going to be the storm that's right now right over Meade here. So it's right on top of Meade. And then the storm that's just moved off to the east and the northeast, moving in on Erie, Colorado, but just moved through Boulder, Colorado. Some isolated golf ball size hail with that one as it moved through Boulder, Colorado. And a lot of nickel, quarter, $half size hail with this storm in Boulder. So it was a good hailer as it moved through. Kind of intensified right on the southwest side of Boulder. Really went up in intensity, and then as it moved across town, it actually began to weaken. And so I would say it's sub-severe right now. That it's not producing quarter size hail, but it does have some things to watch. Then we've got this storm up here near Meade. Which I think is probably producing right around quarter size hail there. We just have a report there. See if that's 0.75 or 0.88. That's 0.75. So that would be penny size hail that was just reported on that storm near Meade, Colorado. So again, penny, maybe quarter size hail falling in that storm right now as it moves right over the top of Meade. This storm is going to head right towards or probably just to the south of Greeley here. So I would say between Gilchrist and Evans over the next 20 to 40 minutes or so. So Gilchrist to Evans, we'll watch this storm as it basically moves in that general direction off to the east-northeast. Both of these storms right now not looking too significant, but they are worth watching, okay? So we're going to have to keep watching this because conditions are favorable right now for these storms to produce some pretty favorable hail this afternoon. So let's take a look. Okay, so Frank telling me here also watching these. So again, we've got our whole team of meteorologists here. So we've got Heather Kay back here in the office. I point behind the green screen here because that's where they're at. So we've got Heather Kay, we've got Frank Gaetano here in the office, and then John Choquette also helping us out from his home office. So the whole team is geared up. We're ready for Colorado today if it decides that it wants to happen. But Frank letting me know that these storms have had a tendency to have north splits. And north splits, those can be fun if you want a lot of crazy hail. So we're going to have to watch these to see. Again, we watched this Boulder storm. Weren't for sure if it was going to die or split, and it may have done a combination of both. But you can see we've got the little core here that tried to break off from that storm. We'll see if it actually does so. And then here we go. So again, I told you they just kind of bounce up here. So we've got a bigger marker now starting to show up on this storm over Meade. So we're going to have to watch this. This all the way from Fort Collins all the way down to Denver is all fairly populated. There's a lot of people that live in this area. There's a lot of farms too, but there's a lot of homes mixed in here. So we're going to have to watch these really closely. Let's take a look here. Let's switch this back over to a single panel so we can see it all just a little bit bigger here. And let's take a look at the echo tops on these storms to see what they're doing. So this gives us just kind of an idea here. Scott, that sounds about right. Nickel size hail in Fort Collins. Definitely when it looked like it was strongest was south of Fort Collins, and definitely weakened as it moved towards Fort Collins. So great report from Scott there. We appreciate that very much. So again, we're going to look at the echo tops now. So this is how tall these thunderstorms are. So that's what we want to know. How tall are these storms right now? And that's a really good indicator. A lot of times, if they're really tall, we can get a really good idea of if they're strengthening or weakening right now. So if we can kind of remember what these look like. Remember when this storm was back over here near Boulder, we were talking storm tops hitting 45,000 feet. Right now, we've got a little speck right here near Erie, and we also had the little hail marker that just popped up as that happened. And then we have a bigger area here with a couple little specks of 40,000 feet. So none of the storms are actually as strong as they were, but we're going to have to watch them. So this one is showing a sign here of jumping up in size. So if we actually hover over this here, it's going to tell us that it's saying right now potential of up to 2-inch hail. Now that's what's developing in the storm, okay? So that is not what's actually occurring. That's what's potentially developing in the storm. I'm going to switch here to a different mode here for you guys. We're going to see if I can do it at least. It's always dangerous when I get to work with the computer here. Never know what might actually happen, what I might break. So we're going to give this a go here. So we're going to switch and turn on the screen display. We're going to transition that over. Look out, there's lots of screens there. And there we go, I did it. All right, so now you guys actually have a live screen. So this is not just the radar that we're looking at. We're actually looking at all the different pieces of information, and my camera is dead. So let's change that battery out there. Just something you got to deal with. Yep. All right, there we go. We're back. We're back in action here. So again, now, so we've got the full screen up here. So now you can actually see. So when I hover over this and I say 2-inch hails, what the radar is estimating, you can actually see that pop up. So let's take a look at this from a 3D scan. So I'm going to switch this back to our base reflectivity, and look how much bigger this storm's gotten. Look at the core. It's a really, really nice core. Happened just on the other side of Meade here. So remember when it was on top of Meade, it looked okay, but it didn't look crazy. So as we switch back now, look, we've got a little inflow tail now starting to kind of suck into this storm here. So it's trying to organize a little bit here. We'll see how long this organization lasts, but look how much broader and bigger this got. Now, one thing that I like to look at is what's going on up inside of that storm, because this is what's fallen as we get down to the surface. We're at about 2,400 feet off the ground right here where this is actually at. So this is what's falling 2,400 feet off the ground, but what's going on 10,000, 20, 30,000 feet above the ground? Let's take a look at that here. So we're going to go to 3D view here. This is always fun to take a look at. So here's a look at our storm right now on 3D view, and you can actually see, so these storms, so we have this disturbance that's kicking out, and it's blowing shear across the top of these storms. Did that really just go dead? What the heck? Apparently we had a dead battery just sitting there. All right, let's try this again here. All right, so we're back. So we've got the wind shear that is coming across the top of these thunderstorms, and what it's actually doing is it's creating a tilt. You see this tilt on the thunderstorm right here? So this is what we're watching for. This is what we don't get in the southeast this time of year. So the storms in the southeast, they'll actually stand straight up just like this, and then they just collapse on themselves, and boom, we lose everything that we have to work with. So that is not good when that actually occurs. But right now we have this nice tilt here, and so the hail algorithm is actually picking up the hail right in this location. We want to see where it actually falls to the ground. So we always watch this because this is what's coming to us. This is what we're getting ready to see, and then this is what's actually going on right now. So we're going to jump back over here now to our regular view here, and so we did have some 1.25 inch hail back here to the south of Meade, and right now it looks like we'll have to see here, but we're getting a pretty good hail dump right now going on here on this storm just to the east of Meade. Okay, so this is kind of the hail dump. So if we were to actually take a look at it in 3D view again, it's probably not going to look quite as meaty as it did. It still looks pretty good, not too bad. But notice we kind of have this little hole. You can see it right here. So this area right here is not quite as thick as it is right down here. So right now, dumping its hail onto the ground. So we're seeing that just to the east of Meade, we have that hail dumping out. And then the new development is not as good as what we had just a few minutes ago. And so we'll probably see a little bit of a weakness. We'll see if we can get some new development to occur here. But we might see a little bit of a weakness in the amount of hail or the size of hail. We'll have to see how that kind of rolls out. But the overall structure of this storm right now looks really good. Look how nice this inflow is, right? So we've got the V. I don't know if I can turn it. I turn around the other way. But we've got the V basically right in here. And so this storm is sucking in nice warm 75, 80 degree temperatures out ahead of it here in Colorado right now, sucking in nice warm temperatures into this storm, and that's what's actually causing this to intensify. Let's take a look at everything else that's going on, make sure that we're not missing anything. Here we go. So our storm down here near Erie, starting to take off again. Let's make sure and take a look at what we have going on in Fort Collins. So this storm is now moving north. We're not going to pay a whole lot more attention to this guy now because it's basically moving up into the desert up here. We're not going to see a whole lot left with that. So we're going to pay attention to these two storms right now. These are going to be the ones to watch. See if there's anything back here to the south and west. Not yet. We do have a second cell that's kind of split here. Let's take a look here. So we do have a second cell. We've got two of them here now, so we're going to watch both of these, okay? So we've got, this is the storm that initially impacted Boulder. So this has come from southwest Boulder, right across Boulder, and is now basically kind of V-line the Erie area. And it's going to move on over towards Frederick and Decano, Colorado. So it's going to move directly in that direction, maybe even just a little bit south of there. So it doesn't have a whole lot of population left to work with here. You can see all the roads kind of in this area. These roads are a little bit behind, so there's probably, I'm sure, at least a little bit more population out here, but not a whole lot left. So this thing's got to do what it's got to do here pretty quick, or we got to rely on this storm back here to our west. So we're going to take a look at this one here as it moves toward Gun Barrel, Colorado, kind of on the north side of Boulder, probably even getting a few P's. Looks like it might have even dropped some quarter-size hail back out here over the front range here. Let's actually take a look at it when it came. That was actually from the first storm. So as it kind of split, you can see that split race off to the north here, and it really just hasn't been able to get going. But then kind of a new updraft has actually developed right here on the south side of that north split on the north side of Boulder. So we've got both of those to watch. And then again, we still have this storm near Erie. Keep an eye on that one. Let's jump back up here to our storm in Meade. That's actually the one that looks the best right now. Not a whole lot of population. Again, we said it looked good. Our hail marker just went back up again. So we're looking at this thing. It's kind of pulsing. It's not dropping ginormous hail by any means. This is not a Colorado Springs type storm. But we are getting some hail out of this storm. We're definitely getting in the quarter to the $half size stuff is actually falling out of this storm. So we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on this and see. Let's see here. John wants us to take a look at the CCs down here in Erie. So CCs, for those of you that are new, this is the correlation coefficient. So a lot of times when these numbers kind of bottom out here, and we're going to overlay the two here in just a second, but when these kind of bottom out here, that can be an indication that the storm is actually producing, or at least dropping, some very, very large hail. So let's take a look here. So again, the marker has gone up a little bit here. So we're at 1.32 inch is what the radar is estimating the hail size to be. Let's do a dual panel here. So let's take a look at two of these. Put this one over to that. We'll put this one over to that. All right, and there we go. Our marker's jumping up pretty nice here. So we're up to 1.6. And so if we kind of overlay here, so we're definitely getting, I would say we're getting severe hail here on this storm near Erie. Okay, so you can see kind of this little pink area, and it's not as pink and purple as some of the other storms, but that's not always an indicator that we're getting large hail. Okay, I've seen plenty of hailstorms that are yellow and orange, and they're producing baseball size hail, and I've seen plenty of storms that were purple and white as can be, and they're producing pea-size hail. So just because there's a lot of precip falling doesn't mean it's big precip. Sometimes it means it's just precip. It's a lot of it. So there's a lot of things that go into actually taking a look at this on radar. So you can see though we've got our pink core right here, and it actually lines up with our green, with our CCs right over here. But if you notice, right, so we've got, you see the storm right back there by my shoulder. So that hail core, which is small hail, actually looks pinker than the one that's Erie, but doesn't have the big low CCs back here. So it's actually producing smaller hail than this storm right over here that's really bottomed out. Now we're seeing more hail actually begin to fall out of this. So now the pinks are starting to pop up. but we still don't have larger hail falling out of this storm yet. Now that might change, but as of right now, the big hail is actually falling on this, and they actually look very similar. There's not a whole lot of difference between these two storms. So again, we're going to keep watching this storm here near Erie. Let's see where our marker's at here. So no new markers actually come out. And we're going to have to watch this storm here by Gun Barrel, because if it is a north split, it's going to shoot straight up into Longmont. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and see if that's the track that storm indeed does want to take. And sometimes these splits, they take a little while to get going. But once they get going, once they get rolling, look out, because they can drop some serious hail. And it's usually not on the low volume side. It's usually got some velocity with it, and they're usually not soft either. So they produce some pretty serious hail here. So we're going to watch this area right here as this moves up towards Longmont, or has the potential to move up towards Longmont, because it's a split off of this first storm. Let's jump back over here to Meade, take a look at what we have going on with it. So this storm is basically going to V-line right towards Gilcrest. So Gilcrest, Colorado, which is right off of, for those of you not familiar with the area, this is Highway 85. That's running from LaSalle down to Gilcrest and then down to Plattsville. So we're going to watch this storm as it moves right in this general direction, right off to the east-northeast, about 30-35 miles an hour, moving right towards Gilcrest right now, just to the south. I'm not even going to be able to say that one. Milliken, Colorado there. So it's going to move just to the south of there, and it's going to stay just to the south of Greeley as well. So you can see we got Greeley up here to the north, and here's our storm right down here to the south, producing some pretty nice hail with this storm, or at least the potential for some pretty nice hail here. So again, but notice the lower CC values. Let's see where those guys are showing up. So see, they're actually outside of the storm, but right in here we do have some lower color in it, not as solid as the storm in Erie. So we're going to jump back to that one and really watch that, as well as the one moving towards Longmont, as this one basically moves out into the plains of Colorado and really begins to not affect as many areas. But here's what we've got going right now. So we've got this storm right here producing this one just to the north of Platesville, moving right towards Gilcrest, south of Greeley here on US 85, moving directly to the east-northeast, right towards Gilcrest. We'll probably see some quarter reports come in with that as this moves across the highway. So I think we probably got, I bet you there's a couple of storm chasers sitting right here on this highway here. And so we'll watch this as it moves on. Storm still looks okay. The updraft, the hail marker, staying right here where the updraft should be, with the inflow notch kind of sucking into that storm. So it's a good looking little storm right now. Probably has a really pretty structure to it, really nice wall cloud with it. This would be a fun storm to be getting ready to get hit with. That would be where I would like to be, right here sitting on US 85, ready to have this guy really kind of get after me here. So let's jump back here to the south now. And awesome. So we have found some photos to actually prove the golf ball size hail that we talked about earlier. This was earlier in Boulder, Colorado. So this was at the university. There's a new severe thunderstorm warning for this guy right here. This is the one that we just talked about. Said would move up towards the south side of Longmont. We had to watch it. It was a split from the original supercell that moved through. So again, we're going to watch this closely. I'm going to take a look at this one. But we did have a picture of a golf ball size hailstone in Boulder, Colorado at the University of Colorado. So somebody is out chasing it. I love it. You on US 85, John? All right, let's see here what we got going on. So we're going to kind of analyze this storm here. Ooh, look at this storm by Erie. It is going to town now. All right, so we're gonna track this storm here near Erie, because there is some population here from Erie all the way up to Firestone to Frederick. There's quite a few houses here. You've got kind of your acreages here just to the south and the east of Longmont, and the storm is producing some pretty serious hail here, John. So this one's going to be headed towards you after the one that you're on 85. When that guy comes through, you need to jump back here and take a look at this one. This one right now is the storm that's producing some big hail. don't drive into a tornado. I didn't tell you to do that. So if you want to drive into that storm, do it on your own time, not mine. Anyway, so this storm continues to intensify here. And Sean, we did have golf ball size hail earlier in Boulder. So again, this storm continues to intensify. Look at the CCs back here. This is just, look how low they've gotten right in here. Just on the north side of Erie here where this storm is, look at this. They've really bottomed out, okay? So we're talking golf ball size hail easily falling right now in this storm near Erie, okay? So this is our second storm now. I gotta like go like this to do both sides of it, right? We got the split screen here. So we're talking some big hail now starting to fall here on this storm in Erie. And we're gonna have to keep watching this storm back here to the west, because this one looks like it could mean business as well, okay? So sometimes these north splits, sometimes these splits, they don't show the hail marker that you would typically see out of a big producing hailstorm. So they don't show a lot of the characteristics. So sometimes it's just a matter of actually tracking these and just knowing, hey, this is a north split, this could mean business. So we're gonna have to really keep a close eye on this. Let's take a look at what the warning is for here. And you can actually see it right here, look, right here. So if I could step back here far enough without tripping and falling here. So we've got, you see the lower CCs now back here on the west side of Gun Barrel, right here on the back side of this storm where the updraft would be on this hailstorm. We've got the lower CCs now. So I think both of these storms, so we've got this one, we've got the one over north, just to the north side of Erie. I think both of these could be producing some pretty significant hail here. So definitely half dollar size hail for sure on this storm by Gun Barrel. And we got golf ball size hail for sure on this storm to the north side of Erie, okay? So watching both of these storms here really, really closely. Let's see what the warning is for. I bet they do it for quarters, but we'll take a look here and see what they think. Train weather spotters got quarter size hail just north of Plattsville. I don't know where that is. So they've got it warned for quarter size hail. Plattsville, I think that was our first storm, wasn't it? Yeah, right here. So they've got all three of these here. And remember, the biggest hail on this storm, when that warning actually came through here, so the biggest hail was actually to the north of Plattsville. So it was going to be right up in here. So it's going to be right up in here is where the biggest hail is actually going to be at. And that quarter report comes in right down here in this little tail. So it's pulling around some isolated quarter size hail into the hook of the storm here. But the biggest hail would actually be right up here. And it's probably not much bigger. You're probably talking half dollar, maybe a ping pong ball size hailstone, but nothing too crazy there. And so as we kind of bump this forward here, you can see it's even had kind of that telltale sign of kind of, well, I guess you don't know that, but pulling that hook up into it. So we're going to see how this thing can hold its organization as it still has inflow being sucked into the storm right here. Hail marker's still here. We've got, we still see the lower CCs right over here behind me. So we've got the lower CCs right in here. So it's indicative of at least severe hail is falling. So we're talking quarter, half dollar size hail still falling in this storm just to the west of Gilcrest. This storm has definitely slowed down as well. So it's hailing. They're getting a decent amount of hail time out of this thing now. So definitely worth watching for at least the amount of time that it's going to hail. And we'll see if it's going to spread up here to the north because it is close to Greeley. Right now it looks like it's going to stay well to the south of Greeley. Greeley not included in the warning. Look at this little guy. This is this that first split that actually happened? Watch how this thing takes off. So look at it. So we're going to back this up. This is going to be pretty cool to watch. So we're going to watch this cell right here. You can see it right here. So this is what we call a classic north split. So watch. This was all connected into this storm. And if we actually backed it up a little further, you're going to have this storm. They would actually come together like this and go whoop, just like this. Now watch where this storm actually splits and watch it run off here. So it's going to run off. You can see it kind of weaken. Still right here. It's not real strong, but we're going to watch it. It keeps kind of holding its own. And then look, we split again. So we've got one here, we've got one here, and then we've got the split here. So 3 storms have basically split off from this one updraft just right here. So we're going to keep pushing this forward. And now look, we start to get some more pinks out of this thing up here. as it moves towards Berthoud. And then all of a sudden, it just keeps running. And now all of a sudden, look, we've got our 2 storms here and here. So we got both of these updrafts trying to take off. Gun barrel, now look at this. Man, that's some really impressive CCs now on that storm by gun barrel there. So we're going to have to really keep an eye on both of those. And if we go up here now, we've got our storm just to the east of Loveland. That was our first initial split. So that's probably dropping a lot of hail out of that right now. And we're going to wait here for the radar to catch up to us here and really update our markers here that we have. There's a 2-inch report now that just came in from Boulder, Colorado from earlier. So that storm was pretty serious. It again looked really, really nice. So again, it said up to 2-inch hail for 15 minutes. That might be a little bit long. Just looking at how it was on radar is maybe 10 minutes. But so we've got 2-inch hail reported. So this is by a trained weather spotter. Morgan is his name. Hopefully there's a lot of Morgans up there. Anyway, so 2-inch hail reported, and it fell between 5:55 and 6:10 p.m. Just to the south of downtown Boulder. So that's some pretty big time hail there. That storm, again, we watched it go up. We watched it look really good. We estimated the hail size to be at golf ball size hail here in the office, so 1/4 of an inch. A little bigger, so we'll take that. We'll see what the volume is, but I do think that potentially could have been a really, really good hailstorm there. Now we've got our 2 cells here, and it looks like the rear cell, the one right back here, is actually trying to take off a little bit better here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this one here as it kind of moves off to the east-northeast. It might even split the gap here just south of Longmont. We'll have to see what it ends up doing. And then we've got our storm near Erie that was producing golf ball size hail. Let's see here. It probably still has some golf ball size hail as it moves, or at least close to golf ball size hail, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches here, just to the east of Frederick and Firestone. And let's see here, Decano, Colorado. So we've got these 3 areas right here. You can see all the little squiggly lines here. That's a whole bunch of little neighborhood residential houses right in this area. So this is where that storm is actually moving through. But I think it's going to defer all of its power back here to the rear storm, which is now coming up on the south side. We're getting some small hail here on the south side of Longmont. I don't think we're getting the big stuff here, but this storm is definitely trying to intensify. And let's see what else we got going here. This will be interesting to watch what this storm back here to the west does as well. So we've kind of zoomed out a little bit here. So we're watching this storm just went through Gun Barrel, and there's another golf ball report, it looks like, that just came in for the Boulder area as well. So starting to see a bunch of reports coming in from all these storms that actually happened, let's see, well over an hour ago it looks like now. So we've got 2 severe thunderstorms here. Both of them kind of were merged together. They've kind of split apart. It looks like right now we're going to defer power. Yeah, there we go. So the marker just jumped up a little bit here, defer power back to here. And then we also had a hail marker. I was just getting ready to try to get to it here. So we've got a marker that's basically popped up here on this storm near Rollinsville. And this will actually roll out almost into the same area, maybe just south of Boulder. But we're going to take a look at and keep an eye on this one as it rolls out. So most of the models showed these storms kind of firing over and over and over again over Denver. So I don't know how long this is actually going to go, but it could go for a while, just depending on, kind of how this evolves, how we kind of cool off and stabilize the atmosphere. But as long as we're unstable, as long as we've got cold air above our head, warm air at the ground, something to fire off ignition, we're gonna have severe storms actually going on with this storm here. So. There's a ping pong ball report just reported out of this storm. So this is basically just now reported. So we talked about earlier the storm producing golf ball size hail back here by Erie. And then we talked about it maybe being a little bit smaller, ping pong ball, 1.25 inches. And that looks like about what we're getting here. So we're getting a pretty good feel for what these storms are capable of producing here right now. So the Hail Palace is firing on all cylinders here. And so we've got, again, ping pong ball size hail just reported with this storm, and that one actually continues to weaken. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot more out of that one, probably a little bit longer as it drops its quarters. Let's take a look at this guy here from a 3D standpoint. We're going to look at both of these here. Let's see what they both look like. So you can see here, both of them here. We'll kind of tilt it and spin it around here. So I've got two. Again, this one a little bit taller, but doesn't have the hail up in here at the higher altitudes. And then we've got this one back here, which again, probably the shorter layer of the storm basically is going to keep this one. We need it to get a little bit taller if we want to get some of that real big hail going with this. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this here as this storm basically moves off to the east and the northeast on the south side of Longmont here. Let's go ahead and zoom in and see, take a look at all three of these here. So we've got this storm now. It has finally moved through the Gilchrist area here. Everything's moving way off to the north up there. We're going to take a look here. This is it for the country. It is Denver or bust today. So let's jump back in here. Let's take a look at all the reports here. We had golf ball size hail just reported 2 miles north of Longmont. That's probably off of that north split. I told you they're sneaky. Let's take a look at it. Let's see if that's what we had. Golf ball size hail in Meade as well. That's what it was. Look at it. North split comes through on the north side of Longmont. Doesn't look like it's producing anything, but produces golf ball size hail. So let's go take a look at that one on high resolution radar. We also had golf ball size hail reported in Meade. Here we go. Here's our golf ball report that just came in. 1.25 golf ball. So this is from the first storm. We talked about that one when it moved through Meade. And let's see if we can get this back. Whoop. I don't know if it'll go back that far. Keep hitting the jump forward button. All right, so here we go. So we're going to see this one as it runs across, 1.25 inches. And I think that it was the north split here. We're going to have to look at this here. It might have been just a delayed report from this. This is actually the same storm. This storm went up right as Boulder, so we can see Boulder getting hit right here. And we have this storm right up here. And notice it does have the lower CCs, even though the algorithm here, let's take a look at it on the algorithm, right? So what you're used to seeing if you've ever had one of my competitors' maps here. So you're going to get this little, we'll smooth it out and make it look pretty like they do. There we go. All right, so you can see we've got the algorithm, which is going to show the entire city of Boulder getting smacked. And again, it's not that big. So there is some good hail in Boulder. So we've got the hail swath that is showing here. But look up here by Longmont. This color right here, this blue, is basically 0.75 inch in diameter here. And as it moves across, you can basically see it just hopscotches and then tries to redevelop over here near Meade. So it kind of misses this whole area. And I don't know if there's any houses in this area. Let's look. Oh, yeah, there's a bunch. So that's going to be something to watch out for here, right? So again, so this storm took off. Let's go back to reflectivity mode here. Oh, not that one. There we go. So we've got it on reflectivity mode here, and you can see we've got, again, not a lot of pink. We talked about this about 10 minutes ago. Not a lot of pink going on in here, but if we jump back over here to our CCs, notice it does lower them down right in here. It's not crazy, but it does lower them down. And as we jump forward, look how the CCs, look at them. They literally bomb out right here, almost where that report comes in at. But we still don't get all the crazy reflectivity. And like I said, sometimes crazy reflectivity can be a lot of hail, and sometimes it's not. This isn't a if it's this, then this happens. If it's that, then that happens. It doesn't work that way. It's a combination of a lot of different things that we have to analyze all at the same time. And look at this right here. The Boulder storm shows all kinds of crazy color and produced golf ball to an isolated 2-inch hailstone or two. But the Meade Longmont storm up here doesn't show the crazy volume. Now it might pick that up here. Let's see if it does. There it goes. and it starts to produce some more hail. But again, it's not a catch-all. Sometimes this big hail will start falling before the crazy colors come out of it. So this is always fun to watch, fun to see here. So again, you've got the pink right here showing us where the core is, and then we've got the low CC values here. And notice this storm here in Erie, the one that hit Boulder, went on to produce golf ball size hail also north of Erie, basically did the same thing here. So as it jumps up here, we're going to watch this as it moves forward and watch as it kind of takes off and explodes. The one behind it, it's almost like they all got a shot of energy all at the same time. Look how they both just really take off here and continue to move forward. And right now, the only one that's looking just, now, let's see here. There's probably still some hail falling here in this storm in Frederick, but we're definitely getting a cluster of reports out of this. We're still getting some hail. This storm up here by LaSalle, I mean, this is your classic supercell thunderstorm. Look, it's got the nice, again, the eagle look. You've got one band here, one band coming in here, the hook echo across the back, inflow tailing off from this storm back all the way into here. And then the Frederick storm even has a little bit of an inflow notch down here on its own. We've got our north split right up here, so this one's going to be worth watching as well. So we're going to have to watch all of these here. This storm is moving just south of Greeley, so again, and we're going to look for a lot of different things. We're going to look for this band where you can see the lower CCs right in here. That's something that we have to watch for. We're going to close this here. And then we're going to have to watch for like hail splits or hail spikes. So we're going to see if we can find any of those. But right now, probably the two best looking storms are going to be this storm here just south of Evans, Colorado, and then our storm just to the south of Longmont. But now look at this one. This one, we talked about this one just a few minutes ago, starting to roll out here. So earlier it was, let's see here, where was it? It was near Rawlinsville, just to the west of Rawlinsville. Now it is coming in on Crescent here, Pine Cliff. So it's moving in that general direction. We just got a photo here, and let's see if we can load this up for you guys here. There's a nice hailstone near, see if that'll focus, I don't know if it will or not. So that's near Meade right now, so, or earlier, not right now, but so some good hail up there. There's actually a lot of reports that we have. So this is going to be a pretty good little map here, it looks like, for golf ball size hail, basically. So this is not in China. This would be in Boulder, Colorado. So that's where we're looking at right here. So we're north of Denver, and that's basically the area that we are watching here. So, all right. So again, we still have, right now we have I have three storms that I'm watching here. We'll see, sometimes that changes here pretty quickly. But we've got the storm right up here to the north of Evans. So we're watching this one. This one's still producing some quarter size hail. I think it's producing a pretty good volume of hail. Really, really nice looking storm. We've got this cell, right? We've got golf ball reports now coming in, it looks like, on this one near Frederick. So this storm continues to produce some good hail as well. And then we've got this storm here to the north of Erie, and in between Erie and Longmont, right here, cutting the gap right in between. And so we're talking up to golf ball size hail with this one. And then we've got this storm back here to the west that we're going to have to watch. This one is actually going to roll out, back out into, come out over the mountains there. And so we're going to watch that. Let's look at the echo tops here. We're going to switch back to single panel again so you guys can get a bigger view of everything here. So a lot of golf ball size hail with these storms seems to be the popular hail size to come in, and it's coming in from all over the place. This storm trying to kick back up here near LaSalle, but there is a whole lot of nothing out there. So I think that one is. Cody's already inspected it all. There is no damage. I love it, Cody. And this one's going back up. This is actually going to come in on the south side, so we're going to look at Marshall. But I wanted to look at the echo tops to see what this storm actually looked like. And so a lot of times, So this is interesting, right? Because, you know, on radar, if we're looking at the base reflectivity, this storm near Frederick does not look like the best storm. But look at the echo tops. It's the tallest storm right now. So so this storm is topping out right around 45. Let's get an exact height on this thing here. So this thing is topping out at, yeah, 45,000 feet here. That's a pretty tall little thunderstorm, whereas our storm back here to the south of Longmont, I just got a new frame here, and again, Frederick storm continues to be the tall one here. But look at our storm back here. Look how much those jumped up. We're talking those echo tops, they're getting ready to hit 40,000 foot on this storm that's rolling into the south side of Boulder. And then look, here comes another storm trying to go up back here. So somebody just asked just a few minutes ago, will this trend and build down towards Denver? It certainly could. It definitely could trend and build down towards Denver. Look at our storm back over here by Frederick that moved through Frederick. The marker is jumping up on that again. So let's go back to base velocity mode here. So again, a lot of times those echo tops, when those storms get taller, they produce more hail. So and that's what we're seeing here. So this storm right here is intensifying now, and the hail size is growing. We're still seeing a good volume of hail back here in this storm just to the south of Longmont, but it doesn't look nearly as intense, and maybe even trying to cycle, if we were to actually zoom in here just a little bit. There we go. We're starting to get some hail on that storm back there to the west too, but trying to cycle maybe here just to the south. This is, let's see here, this is going to be, we're going to be at State Highway, can't get it to stay up there, State Highway 52, and I think this is 287. So State Highway 52, right on State Highway 52, and we are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, probably about 4 miles to the east of State Highway 287. Okay, so we've got 287 running north and south here. Which one's 287 here? No, so it's right on 287. Okay, so 287 and State Highway 52. This is where we're looking at, right in here. So this storm is probably trying to recycle back down here. So we're going to watch this little pocket right here to see if it takes off. Right now, not the most intense storm. Our storm near Fort Lupton is trying to take off here. So we're going to have to watch this right in here. And again, Frederick, Firestone, this area, again, this storm was much more intense than it showed on radar. Let's back it up and take a look at this, because I think this was actually a really, really good hailstorm. And some of this, you know, maybe was even hail fall that was coming down as the storm moved over this area. So the maps are actually mapped live, Mike. So everything that's happened so far is on our website. You can log in. You can actually buy it if you want right now. We'll continue to update it as these storms continue to roll out. They're just going to keep forming back on the Rockies and rolling out into Denver tonight. And as they do so, we're going to continue to map them. So please feel free to jump on the website. You can actually access everything right there. If you got your subscription, you're ready to rock and roll. So let's look at this storm, though, as it moved over Frederick. And it basically, I think this is 52 right here again. Yeah, so it basically just paralleled 52 here. So 52 from Decano to Frederick to Firestone here. This was dropping a lot bigger hail. The algorithm, let's take a look at that. What did the radar say was falling? Ooh, that hurts. Radar, we got 0.75 right up here near Firestone. But again, a lot of golf ball size hail was actually produced by this thunderstorm. This storm produced a lot of golf ball size hail. I actually just got a photo here. Let's take a look at it here. Oh, nice golf ball size hailstone. Huh? Frederick? John, they're John's. So we've got a lot of golf ball size hail actually occurred from this. And let's take a look and see if the radar gives us any indication that that's actually what was produced. All right, so we are going to switch to, I got one up there right now that I just plugged in. I got two of them plugged in, yep. Yeah. All right, so we've got two, but look at this. The radar 100% says large hail, even though the algorithm didn't. Okay, let me show you why. So again, not a lot of pink here, right? Just some reds. That's it. But we jump back over here. Our CC, correlation coefficient. Look at all the greens and blues in here. That storm was producing big hail the entire time it moved through there. Even though the algorithm, even though the radar couldn't pick up on it, it was producing big hail the entire time it crossed this area. And we can even look at just what we would look at if I was looking at it in the field. And look, we've got the classic shape. I keep mentioning the eagle. I don't know if you guys can actually see it or not, but we call it the eagle. So you've got the wing here. We've got another wing right up here. And then here's his little feet right here, right? That's your hook echo. So that's his talons basically coming down, and that's wrapping around. The inflow is sucking into this storm. That's what's feeding it. That's what's making it go. And so the radar, for whatever reason, maybe the hail was down low. I bet if we back it up here, let's back it up here. Could be a part of a dance. There we go. So looky here. So we've got the big hail marker. And look how long it took for this bigger hail right here to actually fall to the ground. So the radar is showing, and these storms are producing a lot of pretty big hail here. Oh man, here's a whole bowl of some pretty good size hail here. Looks like it's a quarter to ping pong balls, but a lot of it. So so they're producing good volume. But so let's watch this storm. I want to show you the hail creation and the hail dump over Frederick. Let's watch it. This will be fun to watch. So we're going to back this up just a little bit here. So here's our hail development. Let's look at it. You guys want to look at it in 3D mode? I think that's where it's going to look the best. Here we go. All right. So we've got it here in 3D mode. Is the inflow the reason for tornadoes? That's one of the ingredients. Yeah, you do have to have that inflow. It needs that warm air to suck in. Inflow actually causes the storm to intensify, and so sometimes that can be a part of the common denominator to produce larger hail and tornadoes. So, all right. So we can see here. I'm going to move this over so the comments kind of get out of the way there. So we've got our storm here, and it's okay looking right here. But as we pump this forward, watch the core develop here, and then watch it crash down to the ground. Isn't that pretty cool? And watch the second one. This is actually the Longmont storm from earlier. Watch it go up. And actually, well, that's as far as we're going to be able to go. But so you can watch as all these storms kind of go up and then crash down to the ground. Isn't that pretty cool? So again, so storm means business here. These are serious storms. They're dropping some good hail. And let's go to live mode here so we can take a look here at what we've got going on. So now we've got both of our storms are actually starting to take off here. So we've got three good supercells here, and we've got a fourth one now rolling out here. So we're gonna have 4 storms to keep our eyes on here. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start. This may be the last time that we take a look at this one, but wow, it's a really nice. So again, here's the eagle, wing, and talons coming down, right? So we've got eagle coming in. We've got we've got a decent hail marker on this, but this is producing golf ball size hail right now, just to the south of, is it Kersey? Yeah, Kersey. So just to the south of Kersey, and I don't think that there is anything in this area. Let's zoom in here. There's a few houses out here, so we'll keep watching this for a little bit longer. As this thing produces some golf ball size hail. There's a little neighborhood right here. Taking one on the chin, taking one for the team. Let's see here. How many roofers and PDR guys can we send to one neighborhood? Let's try. This is not going to tell me the name of that road. County Road 44 and County Road 47. That's where that neighborhood is. So, if you were wondering. So either everybody will go there or nobody will go there. We'll see which one happens. All right. Oh, look at that. Tennis ball size hail in Frederick. So, man, that thing was going to town when it came through there. All right. So, that's the biggest hail that we've seen so far. So, that's impressive. All right. So, here we go. So, we've got, let's zoom in here. And I'm going to say this storm is still producing some big time hail right here on the south side of it. So this is the Aristocrat Ranchettes right in here. Okay, so this is going to be close. It might even split or just miss this whole area right in here. But basically right in here is where the large hail. We're still getting golf ball size hail with this. Okay, so this is just to the north of Fort Lupton. Fort Lupton, you got nothing. You didn't catch a drop, didn't even get a drop of rain. But just to the north of the Ranchettes here, we're looking at some golf ball size hail. Okay, so this storm has meant business. It's dropped up to tennis ball size hail just about 20 minutes ago near Frederick. So this storm has meant some pretty serious business. It has overdone what the radar has shown over and over again. So right now the radar says that we should be getting about $half size hail. But this storm's producing golf ball size hail right now. Right over, it's probably, actually, you're probably seeing a couple of golf ball size hailstones right here on the southwest, or on the northwest corner of the Aristocrat Ranchettes. Okay, so right in there, that's where we're looking at, and then just to the north and the west, that's where we're seeing the big hail. Marker jumps up just a little bit there, 1.32, so we're still at about the same size here. Now this one back here, we are jumping back up again. We're seeing the CC start to drop here, and so we're producing golf ball size hail again in this storm now as well. So this is actually going to go a little bit north of the last one. So we had it basically fire right up here just to the north of Erie, and then move right along and to the north of State Highway 52, producing up to tennis ball size hail right through here. Now that's not going to be the majority size, but there is going to be tennis ball size hail, at least a few stones of tennis ball size hail. But you're going to see, I think, a lot of golf ball size hail on this storm. I think we're going to see a lot of photos, and I think we might have a lot of damage in this area, and we might actually just be getting ready to extend that swath up here to the north as we see, again, golf ball size hail now beginning to fall right here. This is Longmont right up here, all these roads right up here. This is the south side, and look at it, there it goes, dumping its hail now. All right, so we're looking at the hail dump now beginning here. So we're talking golf ball, we're probably talking 2-inch hail here. Now just to the south, just to the north of Frederick, northwest of Frederick here. Look at the low CCs right in here. This is impressive here. As this storm continues to push off to the east and the northeast, we're tracking this live. This is right now, guys. This is at 9:06 Mountain Daylight Time, or 7:06 Mountain Daylight Time. Let's get it right here. So 7:06 Mountain Daylight Time out here. So we still got the sun up. We still got some heat out here. These storms are going to keep firing, and the dynamics are there for these things to produce big hail. So we're talking golf ball to 2-inch hail now falling. This is going to be Frederick, Firestone. So right in between Frederick, Firestone, and Longmont, there are a lot of houses in this area. This is a fairly densely populated area. So we're getting a lot of homes impacted right now, again, with up to 2-inch hail. And let's see here. We're going to go, this is, I think, yeah, I-25 right here. And so we're going to look at County Road 20 or County Road 22 right in there. Definitely seeing some large hail, again, up to 2-inch in diameter falling with this thunderstorm right now. Let's take a look here. We've got several storms to talk about. This one is just going to town up here. Moves out, gets out into the plains, gets some better moisture. We're getting some big hail actually falling out here right now. Again, this is just missing Greeley basically, with some really big hail. So we've got this one. We're just going to work our way down the line here. So we're going to go this storm north of the Aristocrat Ranchettes, basically moving out. We're going to go 2-inch hail with this storm here just to the northwest of Firestone, just to the west of Longmont. So we're going to go 2-inch hail with that one. We're going to jump back, and then here we go again in Boulder now. So we're starting to get some hail, and let's see, this is an old report, it looks like. So we're still getting reports from the last storm, but this one is now starting to take off as well here. So we're going to see as this storm, it's got the inflow notch here, we've got our core here. So this storm now coming into Boulder, we're going to get a second round of hail here in Boulder. And I bet, just like the last one that really exploded right as it got on top of Boulder, I bet we're going to see the same thing again with this one. Let's watch and see what happens. We started talking about it when I saw the shower pop up way out here in the mountains It looked like a storm that had the potential to really take off as it moved into the plains, and it's trying to do so. So we're going to see what it does here. It's just now getting out to the moisture where it actually has something to work with. So we're going to have to see what it ends up doing here. And we have more showers back here to the west as well. In fact, I am going to, let's see here if we can't get some lightning on here. So sometimes, a lot of times, lightning can be a really good indicator of a storm pulsing going up and down. So I like to have lightning on here when we're looking at some of that stuff. So let's take a look at that here. In just a second here, we're going to get our lightning feed here and pop this one into the radar so we can see what's going on here. There we go, we got lightning. Oh, except we just closed the radar. Oh, no, we didn't. All right, so now we got lightning on here. So you can see all the different lightning strikes on here. And notice, again, look at the lightning. Look how much more intense the lightning is on this particular storm here over Boulder. And really with all these storms, there's a ton of lightning in these right now. We're even starting to get some lightning starting to show up back here near Idaho Springs. Right, Georgetown is right here. Idaho Springs, we got some lightning and thunder starting to happen back on this cell back here as well. So this one, just like that, is going to move out. This would probably move in the general direction of Broomfield. We'll have to watch that. Again, the lightning is really intense on this guy right here, right over Boulder. The hail hasn't taken off quite yet here. Well, you know, if we take a look at it here, it does have some of the characteristics of some lower CCs. So I think this storm is going to try to intensify here pretty quickly here. Let's take a look at some of the tops on this thing here. See how tall this is getting here. And you can see a lot of height with this storm here, and even some height already starting to develop on these storms back here to the southwest. So they're feeding in off of the mountains back here. They're firing up near Georgetown on some of the higher peaks, maybe Loveland Pass right back out in that area. They're firing up there, and they're basically rolling out, and then as soon as they come over the front range, over the foothills, they just explode. And they're just going to continue to do so. Now we'll see if that ignition source, which right now seems to be Loveland Pass the way it looks, but if that ignition source continues in that same spot, then we may see these storms just continue to train over the same area. But if they kind of change or filter a little bit further south or north, then we may see that change a little bit as well. So we're going to have to keep watching all four of these storms, I guess. This one now doesn't look nearly as strong. So this storm initially produced tennis ball size hail near Frederick. If you notice, it's actually kind of lifting off to the north a little bit more, which is a sign that it probably has weakened, potentially even that the updraft has completely been cut off. And more than likely has occurred because of this storm right up here. This storm is just wrapped all the way up and around, producing probably a high volume of 2-inch hail right now. With this storm right in here. So we're seeing some serious hail actually falling out of this storm. And so we bump back here to the west. So as we bump back here to the west, we still have our storm here to the north of Firestone, to the east of Longmont. This storm's still producing golf ball size hail. Doesn't look quite as strong as it did just a second ago, but still looks impressive. And we just got to continue going here because we've still got the storm back here to the west near Boulder as well. And so this storm continues to look really well as well. So we're going to switch this back to a single frame. There we go. Dead battery. Alright guys, give me just 1 second here. We're going to get this battery out. I think you can still hear me, so. These batteries, they last us about 30 minutes or so. I've got about 6 of them. This one's stuck though. All right. So I am going to, this one's actually stuck in the camera, so the bloated battery, yes it is. So I'm going to go ahead, let me just make sure, I think right now we're in kind of a lull with these as well. We'll come back, this might move into Platesville, so I'm going to go ahead and get this geared back up, and then we will jump back live again if it moves into that.